Well, the hubcap is off. That's about all I feel like doing today, so till the next video. Not really. I'd like to quit, but I gotta keep going. They don't fix themselves. Hey everyone, today I'm going to attempt to replace a shock. I'm going to start by removing the hubcap and the wheel, and I'll see what I have to do from there. So I'm going to get started in this heat out here and see how long I can take it. The book says the lug nuts are on at 140. They broke loose at 140, or a little less probably. Wheel bearings sounded nice. I did all the checks with the wheel bearings. Tried to rock the tire. You can tell this is a 1500 band by the 5-lug pattern. 140 foot-pound torque. And I'm going to need a tire. I may re-grease these bearings in the future. I believe they are probably due on the maintenance schedule. But for right now, I'm dealing with about 98 degrees, 36% humidity, and a very slight breeze, and I'm in the sun. Okay, so I gotta keep going. Back up under this flap, you can see, yeah, right there is a stud, and at the bottom of that stud is a nut, which would be about a 5/8. You can almost see it right through there, the hole there. But I don't know if the camera's going to pick all that up or not. Anyway, 5/8 fits it, and I believe I can do better if I can't find a metric one. And I got some lubricant on it, and I'm going to let it sit a little bit and see if it'll free it up, because generally what happens is the top of that shaft, it starts spinning because it's the top of the shock, and you have to hold it. And with the deep well socket on it, you just can't get to it. A pair of vice grips and a wrench down in there, small wrench. You can, once you get it free, you got it, but breaking it free and then keeping it from shock from turning all the time is another story, but you're going to get rid of these shocks anyway. So once you get past a certain spot, you can put something underneath the nut to hold the shock and continue on the rest of the way. Quite a process. They do make a tool for this to take that off with. I put the floor jack under the A-frame there to raise it up a little bit, to take the tension off of the shock, and I was able to get a pair of little vice grips on the top of the shock stud, and then I got a 15mm ratcheting box end wrench, and I barely can get a few turns on it, but I did break it loose, and it's going a little easier now. I did lubricate it with some of that stuff right there, and I let it sit overnight, and it's just a slow process now. They make a tool for this, and I recommend buying the tool, because this is not an easy job like this. I'll just keep going with it like this and see what happens. Well guys, I got tired of fighting it the way I was doing it, so this one seems to be more difficult than any of them I've ever done, and I decided to get a tool. There it is, and that thing there will hopefully let me take the nut off. I will show you the tool when I get the shock out and show you how it works, both the tool and the shock. There's pretty much the setup, how I'm doing it, but I'll show it to you when I take it out. The next part of this journey is removing these two 13mm bottom bolts. I put lubricant on all of the threads that I could get to. And I should have brought my electric wrench because this seems to be a long-winded process. Now the shock's supposed to drop right on out the bottom here, like this. And there you have it. Probably two different animals, shock absorbers, but they're pretty close there. And they say they're supposed to fit, or the new one is. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. It looks like the rubber grommets were a little bit more robust on this shock right here, and this could be in an original for all I know. And on your grommets, your rubber grommets, they got two sides to them, so you can see this fits up into the hole in the A-frame, and then this goes towards the shock. I know you all know that, but I just thought I'd put that in there for those of you that haven't done this before. New shock just goes in, same way the old one came out. If anybody's curious, these are 24 foot-pounds right here, and they're 13 millimeter. The top nut is 12 foot-pounds. Okay, now I got to go back up to the top, and I believe that's a 9/16 or 15 millimeter nut that I got to put on there along with it. Well, that's about all the threads I could get on it. The shaft was a little shorter than the other one. However, it did feel like about 12 foot-pounds of torque. Maybe a little more. So this shock is in. And now I got to start on the other side. But first I want to show you a little bit more of the tool that I used. So here's the deal. This little piece here, and there's two different ones to fit different makes of vehicles. An end on that, an end on that. The other one has an end like this, and then a solid end. Anyway, this is one I believe I used to take this off with. But these ends are cut to fit over the end of the shock right there. Like that. And that holds that part. Then this part here, two different sizes, is designed to go, I'll do two different sizes, and goes over it like this, and then down over the nut like that. Then what you do is you hold this, which I did, I believe, with 13 millimeter, like that, and then I turn this way or this way, counterclockwise to loosen and clockwise to tighten. So that's all I did. And while I was holding this top piece, wrench was holding that, and it came right off. So this tool works very well for me, or it did. And I've never used it. I've always gotten away with you know, holding the shaft here with a pair of vice grips or something, and then getting a wrench on this. But this one I absolutely could not get in there at all. Behind there is a bear. So it's the first one I've ever encountered where I had to use a tool. But I will tell you that the tool works really well. And if you're fighting it, don't fight it no more. Go get the tool. Save yourself some work and some time, and you can get all the shocks done, and time is money. Now obviously this shock isn't any good. They're supposed to come back up and you know, it doesn't. But I'll do a little thing on shocks later. Pull it up, but that's not the part. It's supposed to pull up a little easier than it is to compress, about 2 to 1, something like that. So it's twice as hard to compress it as it is to pull it up. And obviously the shock is no good. So this side is done, and the other side is similar. It's just, you might use your left hand more on the other side. I don't know. Anyway, that's the front shocks. That's how to do the front shocks, and I'll be going to the back ones as soon as I get the other side done. Well, I'm back to the right side rear shock, and I didn't tell you before, this man spent all of his life except the last year before I got it back in Minnesota. There we go. And I got to tell you, from the looks of things underneath, it was taken care of pretty well, because you can see some surface rust on it, and I'm going to spray it down real good with some salt remover and spray. I don't think it's ever been done to it. I think it's just been not driven during the winter time and then taken on trips, maybe during the summer, but it did pick up a little rust here and there. For right now, I'm checking out this rear shock and the whys and wherefores on how to get it out. It looks like a 13 millimeter, but I think I'm going to need a really long extension to get up. I don't know if you can see that, but up in the top there's some bolts, and one on each side, 13 millimeter. I'll get an extension when I get my socket down closer to me. I mean my ratchet down closer to me, and then I'm going to guess on the bolt there. But in any case, there's 3 to take loose, and I'm trying to get you an angle here. I'm not having much success with it. I'm going to get right underneath. I don't know. Lots of spider webs and cobwebs. I believe they're probably black widow. That seems to be the prevalent spider out here. Everything this desert bites, sticks, or stings. And we've been really having some terrifically hot weather here lately, and I was thinking the other day that how the Colt 45 Peacemaker settled the old West, and I've come to the conclusion it wasn't the Colt 45 Peacemaker that settled the West. It was the Westinghouse air conditioner, because without that nobody would want to live here. And I'm not living in the hottest spot. So I'm going to go get an extension and I'll be right back. Okay, not a lot of time left on this camera. So I better make quick work of this or I'll lose the video. My wrench needs to be recharged. Oh man. I need to recharge my wrench. It has no oomph on some of these. Okay, there's a little. I think I'll get that swivel off of it. pressed in there tight. And it's really not that tight. I'll post the torques on these, or I will tell you when I go to install the new shock. I think it's loose up there. Should be loose. There it is. Gotcha. Just your normal looking bolts. Just like the ones in the front on the bottom. Okay. Top part is done. Now, what do we got down here? I ain't real sure. I found a 21 that sloppily fits. I found an 18. I was wrong on the 15. 18 for the backside here, and we'll just let the axle hold it right there. Hold it on there, hopefully. This could be slow going. Okay, I'm going to finish taking this nut off, and I'll be right back. Okay, got that bolt loose, nut off I mean. Pull this loose and the shock is out. The shock is out. Okay, done and done. You can see where this one's been leaking. This shock is no good. I'm going to put the new one in just a minute. Good shock, bad shock. I'm using my left hand. It's moving slowly, but not much. Extend this one and we'll see how it looks to that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this band. I think I got the wrong pliers. Okay, here we go. Good shock, bad shock. How far are you gonna go? If it's close, I'll be happy. Somewhere in the ballpark. Okay. It's still growing. And still, I do believe that shock will be just fine. This looks to be a better shock than this one here. That's plastic there. That's steel there. That'll work. Alrighty. Let's see if we can't put that up in there. The hard part is getting it started. These upper ones, I believe, are on at 20 foot-pounds. I'm not going to put a torque wrench on them. I'll go back and tighten them down by hand. And this bottom jewel down here, which I'm having a lot of trouble. Oh yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's going to get difficult. But I've got a handle on it. Once you get the bolt started, it goes pretty easy. It's just getting that bolt started in the hole and getting this lined up and then pushing it up there and then holding it, because that wants to come down on you all the time. Okay, come on now. You can do it. I still got it. There we go. Sometimes get a little floor jack you can put under here. A little block of wood, and it makes your life a lot easier. Or a little bottle jack maybe. If you're really having a bad day and you got a tough one, because some of these shocks, these heavy duty ones, even with the springs, this is pretty difficult. This one was not that hard. Okay, now I'll go ahead and get those upper ones tightened up until I feel those close to 20 foot-pounds. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, I got the upper ones. I was off camera, but I'm back down here now. I had to remember to do that while I was thinking about it. Tighten them up. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, that's my 18 there. Yeah, what was I using down here? Obviously not my electric socket wrench. 21. I'm going to do this to get it in there. Slow going. It was like being in a boat driving this. No, 3 bad shocks so far that were absolutely no good. This is going to make a big difference. This is a 60 foot-pound torque on this. Okay, here we go, 60 foot-pounds. Now I know I got that right. So, I think we got her. Alright, there is one brand spanking new shock absorber. And now I have to do that other side over there, and yeah, the spiders just take over. You park this for 2 days and you got spiders, and that to me looks like a black widow web. I know they're down here. I've seen them and I've killed them. I do not like spiders. Okay, on to the other side, but I'm not going to film it because you saw this one right here. So until the next video, hope all your repairs go well as usual. And Cars, Trucks, and Detours, aka Steve AZ711. Check that out right there. That bumper's still got some life left in it there. This is really quite a nice vehicle. Look at the shield they put on the exhaust to keep it away from the shock. That's cool. And the drive line, that's just unbelievably huge. And it's only a half ton. Okay. Bye for now.